Hey, it's New York City Reloader. I've got a new rifle scope I'm going to show you guys, and I got some new scope mounts for it. I went ahead and I'm trying out the new Wheeler 34 millimeter high height rings for my 6.5 Creedmoor rifle, and I'm going to be changing a Vortex 6 by 24 by 50 scope out for a new Vortex scope that I've been wanting to try out and play around with. It's the new Vortex Venom scope. It is 5 by 25 by 56. It's also a 34 millimeter scope. You need 34 millimeter rings, which is why I'm trying out the Wheelers from my standard rings. And just something I wanted to try out, see how they work. A buddy of mine has them. He says they hold zero very well, and they work very well with the scope. So without further ado, I'll show you me demoing the scope and showing it to you on my new rifle. Hey guys, just got my 6.5 Creedmoor Mossberg MVP LC mounted here on my Tipton vise, and I'm going to go ahead and change the scopes out. But first I want to show you that the scope I'm currently using is a Vortex Crossfire 2 624 by 50, and I have to tell you, it has worked out great. I put a little level on the side and have been using it with the level, and this scope has really served me well. It's been very, very accurate. I wanted to try my hand at a new scope that was first focal plane. This scope, of course, is second focal plane. And again, it has served me quite well. I'm simply going to put it on one of my other long-range rifles and play around with this new first focal plane that's 5 by 25 instead of 6 by 24. It also lets in a little more light as it's a larger diameter scope. It's 34 millimeter as opposed to 30 millimeter, which is going to let in a lot more light, and more to come. It's also very important that you use a level to make sure that your scope is level, and I've done that as well. And I'm using two levels at two different points on my barrel to make sure that it's straight and make sure that it's level, and they are. Okay, second step is to make sure now that we've got the rifle lined up and level, we're going to go ahead and check the rings and make sure the rings are level. So check this side, now I'll check the other side. Okay. That one's level as well. I'll just go ahead and adjust. Okay, that one's level. Today I'll be using my Wheeler fat wrench, which is nice because it's got a built-in indicator here to how many pounds of force and torque I'm using. So I'll be using that one to adjust my scope. And I'll set these according to the manual on the rings as far as these lower ones go. And what I'll do is I'll set these on top. I'll set those to what the manual for the Vortex scope says. Okay, I've just taken the Venom scope out, the Vortex Venom 525 by 56 out. It's a beautiful looking scope. Cool thing is there's a warning on here that says to properly mount your rifle as recommended, not exceed 18 pounds per square inch on the torque wrench. So we'll definitely make sure that we follow those instructions. Okay, we've got the scope on there, and you can clearly see it's level at the top of the scope. Now we just have to make sure that it's level in the other direction. Okay, we've tested, and in that direction it's also level. So now let's go ahead and time for us to add the mounts, close them up, and torque them down. As you can see, my wrench is set for 18 pounds. That's 15, just a little above. It's a little below 20. So that's 18 pounds, which is what I'm setting on the torque. And now I'll go ahead and add these rings in, add the screws at 18 pounds per inch. Do the same here, top and bottom, all while maintaining that level on the top and both axes. Okay, I've been able to secure the first set of rings on the first one and the top as well. I only put the center one in. They all with the right one, and of course it's level, which is very, very important. So I'm going to keep making sure we're level, and I left these last two screws out just in case I need to loosen this one and I need to balance the screws, but I wanted to get these in the right torque. And again, because I can adjust this top one, I still have some adjustability to make sure I maintain level throughout the process. Okay, all the bolts are in at 18 foot-pounds of torque and all secured in, and we've maintained level in every axis. Final check, make sure that's level. It's showing it's level, and and the axis is showing its level as well. Using the second level in there to make sure it's level at both locations at the same time. And let's see. Okay, you got it level on that axis, and we've got it level on the other direction. So we're 100% level, the scope is 100% mounted, and we're ready to go. I mounted it with a little bit eye relief that I need. I could have slid it back. You know, I may make some adjustments in the future, a little bit forward, a little bit back, but I was really comfortable with it was at this location. So we'll give that a shot and see how she works. And last but not least, I flipped the rifle over, and now I need to set the torque on these to make sure they're the right pounds. There's be 18 as well. We should get a click soon. There it is, 18. We'll do the same thing on this one. A little bit of a turn. Okay, 18 pounds per square inch on every bolt, every screw. Everything's done according to the manual for both products. I just want to show off a little bit of extra capabilities on this Wheeler device, and I'll show you a little bit more about the scope ring in a second. So without further ado, let me show you. First, the whole time I've been showing you the Wheeler rings as I've been installing them. Obviously, they have this great bolt that's here. You can torque it down. Once you do that, you torque it at 18 pounds per square inch, like it says on the manual. These things are going to hold zero very, very well. I know that because of the reviews I've seen and because of friends that already have these rings that recommend them to me. Again, I'm trying them out. We'll see how they work. I usually normally go with the Vortex rings or a couple other brands that I really like. And again, I set the screws at 18 pounds per square inch torque as well on all locations, and we have leveled the rifle. A couple things about this one that's pretty neat is that this rifle has a little built-in level on as well. So I'll be playing around with that little level, see if it's worth a damn. If not, I have to go get myself, and I was going to go get myself a 34 millimeter bubble level like I have on my other rifles. If you look at some of my other scopes, you'll see that I have a level on them as well, and that's what I like about these levels. And we'll see how this little one works out. Again, it's detachable. As you can see, it's removable, and I can certainly remove it if it doesn't work for me. So we'll see how that works. If it works, then great. If not, I'll put a level on here. I might just put another level on here anyway. We'll see. Some items that came with the Venom scope, obviously a cloth for cleaning the lens cloth. In addition to that came a sunshade, which I haven't attached yet, which I will. I like the sunshades. On top of that, it came with a really nice mount for a lens cover. With these particular lenses, you get these hard plastic caps. Obviously, this is for a 50, so it won't fit a 56. But it's a hard plastic cap, you know, with a little elastic band between the two. And that normally does a good job. They've done something a little bit nicer on this one. And on the new Venom, they've got this nice rubberized cap, which I think is nice. It's soft, it won't scratch, it has a lot more stretch than the elastic band, and I don't think it's going to wear out like some of the other, 30-year-old scopes that I have where the elastic is kind of worn off, and I've just gone ahead and put Butler caps on both ends. So, really nice, and we'll take a look at it shortly. Okay, a couple things. Vortex gives you this really cool piece of plastic. It is the same diameter as a quarter, so you can use this to adjust some of the components on the scope, or you can use a quarter. I always have a quarter in my wallet, so I think this will simply become a nice keychain ornament with the Vortex logo on it, which is nice. Comes with a zero stop ring. It's really, really cool. Allows you to make some quick calculations on distance. I still like to do that myself, so I'm not going to use a zero stop ring. The second reason I want to use the zero stop ring is that it limits my movement up and down. And it cuts it down in the manuals. It's probably like, I think you lose 10, and that's just too much for me. I need to be able to make some large adjustments, so I'm going to keep that in my box for the Vortex, but I'm not going to use it. Last but not least is a magnification throw level, which came in it. Normally they charge you extra for it, but this one came with it. It also came with the Allen wrench to be able to adjust it, so I'll pop that on my scope shortly too. I'm all in all, I'm very happy with the scope. The glass looks amazing. Yes, I realize that they've got better scopes. I realize they've got far more expensive scopes. This isn't not a budget scope, but a more economical decision. Obviously, I get 5 to 25 versus 6 to 24. It's a little more power. Obviously, everybody who has a scope knows that the true view of a scope is somewhere in between that, never at the maximum, never at the minimum. So the happy point, maybe it's 18, maybe it's 20 on this one. I'll soon figure that out, the range. I'm going to go ahead and show you the manual real quick. Vortex makes really good manuals that explain the function and fit of the rifle itself. You can see that it's an upside down, or it's a Christmas tree rather, for windage adjustments and bullet drop compensation based on distance. And I'm pretty comfortable with doing those calculations that way, using some software to do the calculations for bullet drop compensation based on my ammo, based on my load, and all those things. I don't need to use the f-stop ring. And so I'll continue to do it the way I use the rifles. I'm just very happy that this is a first focal plane versus a second focal plane. And I will obviously read the instructions on how to use it to my best advantage. And it obviously shows how it works. So very happy with it. If you need a little more information besides that reference manual, Vortex gives you all the specifications in here, all the extra features and the stuff that it comes with, and tells you how to sight something in, and all the other things a good scope manual will tell you. The manual is written really well. I have to tell you, they write a very, very good manual. They show you how to put in the stop, zero stop. They show you what the adjustments are, the MOA versus the MRAD. This is available MRAD for you guys that love metrics, and MOA for us here in the United States that like the old Imperial standard. So it's got a great manual, talks about how to line your scope, which is what I've done, my rings and my bases, how to clean it, how to lubricate it, gives you some warnings, and how to sight it in. So great manual. Definitely take a look at these two things. Keep them available. Again, read through these things. It just doesn't make any sense not to. And again, as I mentioned earlier, it comes with a lens cloth, which a good scope should come with a lens cloth as well. So next time you see me out with this rifle, you'll see me checking out my groups and seeing how well this rifle scope works for me. And that's all I have to say about it. I know this is kind of an unorthodox. It's not truly an unboxing. It's not me showing you a sight picture. I'm not going to line up that iPhone that I use to take video through this scope and get to show you anything in great detail. So I've shown you from the manual what it looks like, and you'll see it when I take it out in the field. All right? Hey, if you haven't already, do me a favor and smack that subscribe button. We love new subscribers. Stop by the Reloaders Network and check them out, reloadersnetwork.com. Some of the best shooters, casters, reloaders are over there. If you get a chance, again, post, comment. We love to hear your comments.